Hello everybody, welcome back to more When the Night Comes. Hey, we're back after a month or so. Yes, 2 months from that last episode, last chapter with this game. And if you guys remembered, or if you guys want to refresh yourself before heading on into this episode of When the Night Comes in the next chapter, then you can head on over and watch my Let's Play on the what's happened so far. Last episode, we immediately left off on the Lunar Festival, if you guys remember. So essentially, we were given the option to go through this little lunar festivities with all the characters that we can choose from. So yes, we went through on this little cute little dates, talked to the characters, got to know them a little bit more. But in my last episode, I had left off saying that I will continue on this story as my first chosen route to do and pursue Ezra. So yeah, so from there, I did every character last episode in the lunar episode, but my choices that I'm gonna go with will be with Ezra. So we met up with him at the festival. We ran into August, and Ezra shared a little bit of history with August. Kind of talked to us about how they knew each other back in the days, and now it's like they're in a rough little relationship. It's like a little bit rough because of what happened. Now, we don't know exactly what happened between them that had them kind of drifting apart a little bit. But yeah, Ezra's really regretful. He feels sad about it because they were really good friends before. And then he also revealed the fact that his father died because that's when his magic manifested itself and he lost control of it. And then afterwards we danced a little, we flirted some more, got some flirt points, and then we went to go see the fireworks. And this is where we are. So we went to go see the fireworks, of course, we're enjoying the show. And then, of course, with any character, we leave off with a cliffhanger in which we hear a scream, a blood-curdling scream in the distance. And that is where we will pick up now. So yeah, so the chapter going on ahead, if you guys follow their blog, or follow their Twitter or the itch.io, then for sure you're going to see the updates and see that yes, February the 1st, just recently, they released chapter 3. So chapter 3, as we're going in now, after the terrible blood-curdling scream, yes, it's called Night Terror. Blah, 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 dun, dun, dun. Night Terror. Okay, so we're gonna jump right in. Oh, warning! Any dialogue options labeled "fight" in this chapter will contain scenes of violence and have mentions of blood. Player discretion is advised. Okay, there you go, guys. So you guys are a little bit squeamish, a little bit not so cool with the blood and the gore aspects of this story, of this chapter now. So then I will leave timestamps, I guess, and I will skip over that for you. So anyways, but for me, for my own personal play, and I'm sure for perhaps a lot of other people, we're gonna go full throttle on this. So if you guys again want to skip on the blood, then I will warn you beforehand, and I'll give an indication on screen to warn you beforehand, and I'll give you timestamps to skip on ahead if you don't want to, see all that stuff. So anyways, let's continue on. Let's see where this blood-curdling scream is coming from. It's coming up from in the distance, so we're gonna go investigate. So the cold winter wind whips against my skin as I run as fast as I can, sinking deeper into the ominous woodland that surrounds Lunaris. Who's getting attacked? I'm hot on Piper's heels, and she's determined, focused as I am. Oh, okay, so of course Piper would be on the move too, because she's the one who's put on duty for the festivities. She's the guard. So there's nothing like the hunt. The way my instincts drive every feeling, the way my every thought is hyper-focused, fixated on winning and only winning. I can think of nothing else but finding the source of the distress, a terrible sense of dread swirling deep in my gut. Yes, the woods are teeming with every hunter and enforcer Lunaris has to offer, each and every one of us silently hoping that this isn't what we think it is. Oh, but it is. Who the hell would be out here in the woods and just screaming bloody murder if they're not getting attacked? So that this isn't the 5th victim that we've all been expecting. Another of our comrades targeted and slain so brutally and without an apparent motive. Killed simply for doing their job, protecting humankind. Yes, so you guys need to catch up on the story, but just as an FYI, the only facts that we've discovered from this whole investigation is that this killer, this being is going around killing only enforcers, or people of that kind. essentially, and there's like no real motive other than, I guess, that's who the targeted victims are. So my feet pound the frost-crisp grass, tall trees with gnarled branches that curl inward like talons, almost naked from winter's grasp, looming high above us. I spot eyes glowing in the darkness, but quickly realize they're carved messily into the rickety tree trunks. They glow ominously, and as another gust of wind blows, I swear I see them blink. Oh, I'm assuming those things. What are those things? Are those just ruins or something like that? I make a mental note to remind myself to return to investigate, though I'm sure they're nothing new. Not in a town like this. Piper skids to a stop, her fingers diligently hovering just above the handle of each of her daggers that sit safely in the holster of her back. Well, I'm glad that we have her as our backup. Did you hear that? Nope. A quiet but obvious whispering echoes amongst the trees, a pained groan from something unquestionably inhuman. A creature. Oh, okay, I did. Her fingers twitch, so do mine. Eyes narrowed, every sense razor sharp and zoned in on that singular point. It feels young, inexperienced. It's beneath our skill level, beneath us. Okay. She says it with such a confidence, but her guard is still firmly up. The duo of wide-eyed hunter sergeant. What? The duo of wide-eyed hunter sergeants that had been ordered to tail us after. I can't read. Jesus Christ. So the duo of wide-eyed hunter sergeants that had been ordered to tail us arrive at our side, their cheeks rosy. Okay, Major? Piper opens her mouth to respond, but she pauses, looking to me. You're the highest rank here, General Lee. Do we move on or let these two handle it, or do you fancy working out some tension? Oh shit. Ooh, leave it to them, work out some tension. Ooh, so leave it to them. I mean, the thing is that I don't want to be separated from people, from my team in this sort of given moment, because you know bad shit's gonna happen if I do. I don't want to. I kind of don't want to. Hold on, let me just raise the volume a little bit. Just a little. I think it's alright. Okay. Work out some tension? What do you mean though? Like, as in like go after whatever the hell, or just leave it to them? Are they experienced enough? They're sergeants. I mean, they're okay, right? They're gonna be fine, okay? They're gonna be fine, right? Oh man. I don't know. I don't feel good about separating from them. That's the thing. Let's work out some tension. Yeah? No. I don't know, guys. I suck. This is why I can't be in the highest rank commanding position. I don't know, guys. Okay, we'll leave it to them. I address the sergeants directly, deciding it's far more important that we continue to the rendezvous point and find August. Yeah. Take care of it. They nod, dutifully unsheathing their weapons. I mean, they're capable, right? I'm sure they are. Piper and I watch for a moment as they slowly but surely sink into the darker depths of the forest. I always itch for a kill, for fight, but tonight we have other matters to attend to. Yes, we hear the unmistakable snarl of the youngling as we continue on our path, followed by a loud, echoing clash of steel. Oh, I try to still my racing heart and switch my focus back on the mission in hand, my blood itching for a fight. I'm taken aback by how vast this woodland is, the seemingly never-ending rows of trees that disappear if you try to look too far. How much further until we're not in Lunaris anymore? Piper shrugs, her strides long and purposeful, wind whipping at her hair. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure there's more forest than there is town. Okay, well that's nice. It makes sense, I suppose. Considering Lunaris' strangely heightened level of creature activity, there must be a lot of space for them to dwell in. Right. Piper skids to a stop yet again, her hand raised. What is it? Yeah. A heavy sigh, and she turns to face me. Her cheeks kiss pink from the biting cold, and I'm sure mine are too. She squints at me, and apparently there's something on her mind. This feels weirdly normal, doesn't it? I guess. I blink, confused. Yeah, normal. What? I thought there was something the matter? She feigns anger, her lips curling back over perfectly white teeth. I mean us being out here together. Oh, my eyes widen, and I catch myself before she registers my shock and takes offense. Oh, it does, yes. Together sounds right, doesn't it? I just flirt. I work better alone. Well, so you're saying that it's suspicious that we're paired together? Is that what you're saying? But I thought you're the first responding, like, next highest ranked officer here. When after you've heard the scream, right? I mean, I don't want to offend her, say I work better alone, because I don't have a problem with her here. Like, I'm glad she's here. But I guess she's assuming there's some other suspicious activity in terms of us being here together. Okay, fine. Okay, I don't really want to get into much flirt points with her because I have decided indefinitely who I'm going to pursue. So I'm going to try to avoid flirting with any other characters at all costs. So yes, I'm just say it does. Yes. Ooh. I can't deny it, I do feel a sort of kinship with Piper. Being out here with her is far easier than I anticipated anyway. Yeah, it does feel quite normal actually. Yeah, I like it. Right? I've never really had a partner before, you know. Oh, okay, so I know this isn't really the time or place to get sentimental, but I have to admit that I'm glad you're not a complete wanker. Thanks. I place my hand over my heart. I'm flattered. What an honor, Hunter Merriman. Don't make me take that back, ass. Piper tilts her head to the side, a loud crack as her bones click back into their rightful place. Nice. Let's dash. Okay. Let's go. I mean, it's easy to tell what we're dealing with as we draw near to the scene. Dozens of hunters and enforcers of varying ranks saturate the small clearing, the majority of them still dressed in their festival attire, much alike Piper and I. Yes. We spot a retrieval team emerging from the tree line, their faces pale and drawn. It's then that I know. We got a dead body. They didn't make it. Yeah. You're here. Yes, we are. August sighs heavily, turning to look at the overwhelming scene that unfolds before us. It's not good news, as I'm sure you can tell. Yes. My heart sinks. I knew, but hearing it out loud is still unpleasant. Do we have an identity? Yeah. They shake their head, brushing the front of their fur coat that I'm sure they're less than happy about wearing in such a situation. I know, that's a little too luxurious to be, you know, being worn in a crime scene. We cannot identify their voice catches. There is no body. Again, nothing but, well, I don't need to repeat such monstrous details. You've read the reports from the previous murders. Oh, right, yeah, they've been charred to death, so it's like, we only got an outline, really. It's much of the same ghastliness, yeah. Piper scoffs, her shoulders tensing, and I swear I can see tears in her eyes. She's hurting, angry. So angry that I can feel it. Goose flesh prickles across my skin thanks to our close proximity, and my own emotions waver with the sheer force of it. This is fucking ridiculous, right? It is, kinda. This cannot keep happening, August. Well, we know that. We're trying to stop it, but it's like we don't really got a lead. I flinch, feeling the surge of energy as August reacts. The smell of ozone thicken the air. I flash in the darkness, and violet sparks crackle about their clenched fists, their eyes alight. Thank you, Piper, for your input. I didn't know this was upsetting. I assumed everyone was enjoying this. Yeah, I didn't know this was upsetting. I assumed everyone was enjoying this. A dozen eyes turn to look at them, and they quickly calm themselves. They look beyond exhausted, the skin beneath their eyes purple and drawn. Piper opens her mouth to retaliate, but wisely decides against it. This actually might be the first time I've seen her look guilty. August averts their gaze, as if they can't bear to look at her. They're upset too. I mean, like, who is happy to find, like, another one of their colleagues dead, so, you know? I suggest you keep your thoughts to yourself in such a situation, unless you have any useful insight. It's not a question. Yeah. Yes, sorry, General. I thought as much. Okay. We're all hurting, Piper, not just you. Yeah, August sighs deeply, sparing us both a woeful glance before they address the gathered forces. Hunters, any majors present will patrol the immediate area. Generals will head further afield and begin an extensive perimeter search. I want no stone unturned here. Okay, any juniors need to get the hell out of here. You're not equipped to even think about dealing with whatever this thing is, and I won't be responsible for your demise. Nice way of putting it. Anyway, anyone else present is to report back to the headquarters immediately. We'll need people on the ground in town to reassure the townsfolk. I don't want this causing widespread panic. It's damage control time. Yes, there's a quiet, subdued mumble of yes, General, and they all dutifully begin to obey August's orders, disappearing in various directions. Would you like me to join the perimeter search? No, I'd like you to go home. Leave this to the others. We need you ready for anything that may transpire overnight. Oh wow, okay, of course. Piper fidgets uneasy. Well, You're a major, aren't you? If you were listening, you'll know what I asked of you. The tension between them is yet again immensely unpleasant. Of course, General. Yeah, she should have expected such a response, and I wonder if she'll ever learn. Or maybe she's hoping to rile them. I can no longer tell. Piper throws me a quick, pitiful glance before she glares at August and turns to join her comrades. Later. Okay. Stay safe. August massages their temple, inhaling sharply, swaying where they stand. I notice that their hands are shaking, and I unconsciously take a step towards them, fearful that they may pass out. Right? General, my general, are you okay? They hold out their hand, a signal for me to stop. Okay. I'm fine, really. Are you sure? General. I appreciate your concern, Hunter Lee. Really, anything that ails me is my fault, and mine alone. Oh man. Now, please head back. I meant it when I said I need you rested. You'll be the first to hear if anything significant happens. I'll send a messenger to retrieve you when the victim has been identified. Of course. Good night. Stay safe, right? If you think I'm staying out here in this another second, you're sorely mistaken. I have mounted a paperwork the size of Ibeck on my desk. Farewell, Hannah. Okay. I take a final look at the scene where the Enforcer witches have cast their mage lights over a bloodied patch of grass, leaving them to their work no matter how much I long to investigate. Right? Like, I want to do some investigating too, but I guess not. That's why I was really surprised when he's like, no, you go home and you sleep. You take your ass to bed. After that outburst, it's best not to question my Enforcer's requests. Yeah. I bow my head before I turn, eager to get out of here. As I head back through the woodland, I notice how eerily silent it is. A strange sense of calm washes over me, then a whisper. Oh, hello. Whispering. Harry. I stop dead in my tracks, my hand hovering over my weapon. I see nothing, feel nothing, no matter how hard I concentrate. Then I realize that voice, the familiar yet subdued ache that begins to creep into my temple. James? James, what are you doing? Yeah, you deserve to know. Oh, okay. I'm talking to the dead! The pain ebbs and flows, my breathing growing unsteady, almost as if something weighs heavy upon my chest. The fleeting, comforting calm that has just settled over me is snatched away as his voice continues to echo in my mind. Know what? I'm sorry. Ooh. A sharp, burning pain shoots up along my spine, and I fall to the ground, the snow-covered grass wet beneath my fingertips. Ouch! His words were cut off, and after a moment I'm yet again surrounded by a blissful silence. Fucking ghosts? Yeah, man, fucking ghosts. Jesus, are you gonna talk to me or not? I drag myself to my feet, and now I only have one thing on my mind, one thing that I must do: visit the Lieutenant General and find out what the hell is happening to me. Right, we need to still report to them about what we sort of discovered about us. Like, we went back to the first victim that we saw, and then we heard voices in the James character, and he's just whispering shit to us, and we haven't told them about it yet. After no luck finding him in his own office, I head to the only other place I assume he may be at this hour. The door to August's office is thankfully ajar, so I peek around the frame, finding Harry standing alone. He has a report in hand, his coat hanging on the back. He has a report in hand, his coat hung on the back of August's chair. He looks exhausted, his eyes red-rimmed. However, when he notices me, he still offers me a bright, earnest smile. Hey man, how are you doing? Hannah, I can't tell you how relieved I am to see you safe. Oh yeah, my throat feels tight, my palms sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti, and I can't quite place why. James is doing a good job of making it difficult for me to stop thinking about him. The pain I felt from his final moments was raw, like an exposed nerve. For some reason, when I think of it, I now think of Harry. I need to know why he wanted me to come here, why everything seems to point back to the man standing before me. I need to tell you something, but I need you to promise that you won't think I've lost my mind when I tell you. Harry narrows his gaze, nodding once. Go on. I visited the graveyard a few days ago while I was getting my bearings. He stays silent, but I can't help but notice the way his knuckles bleed white as he tightens his fist. Ooh, maybe he's aware of our little ability here, you know? Like, the whole, like, we can hear dead people, and this is why he's asked us to be put on this case. I felt an overwhelming sense of grief there, pain, a yearning for a lost love, a sense of failure and crippling sorrow. I thought nothing of it at the time. It's not unheard of for those that have been murdered or to feel scared or sentimental in their final moments, in my experience. But Harry drops his gaze, his bright eyes sad, edged with tears. My words threaten to catch in my throat, but I relent. The other night I visited again, almost like something was pulling me there. I heard more, not just a memory this time. He spoke to me. He looks like he's seen a ghost, staring at me wide-eyed. He quickly swipes at his cheeks. Oh, James. Oh gosh. I get the horrible feeling that he's been waiting for this. I need to know. He nods, understanding. Then he takes a deep, shuddering breath. James was assigned as my very first hunter the moment we both graduated at 18. He'd shown remarkable promise in school, basically skipping all of the juniors' nonsense that they forced upon you. I too had impressed, so we were placed together in the hopes that we'd become unstoppable. We were inseparable in the field together for decades until I took this post as Lieutenant General. A pause, another deep breath, one that shakes. But as well as being my subordinate, he was also my partner. My, oh shit, husband. Damn. Fuck. My heart sinks, bile rising in my throat. I've read countless reports about him and the infamous Hunter Lane over the years, but I never knew his first name or anything about him other than his incomparable work, yeah. Official records tend to omit personal details for the safety of the hunter or enforcer in question unless they become a leader like Harry. They were inimitable, the best of the best. Together they killed some of the most nefarious creatures in our history, and without question every young trainee aspires to be just like Hunter Lane. To think that he's just gone and what Harry must be going through. I'm so sorry, I had no idea you were married to Hunter Lane, right? Jeez. For nearly 10 years, yes, oh god, but we'd known each other forever. I failed the hunter initiation quite dramatically, and he was taken away to his father's home country to train. He was taken away to his father's home country to train to become what I'd always dreamed of becoming. Life had other plans for me, but we still found each other in the end. He used to joke that we were destined, the romantic fool. I really don't think it's sunk in that he's gone just yet. I keep thinking he's going to walk through my door, covered head to toe in blood and grime, with a stupid, wonderful grin on his face. Yeah. He laughs to himself, a quiet huff, and I notice how his eyes sparkle when he talks about him. They say that people deal with grief differently, but I haven't quite figured mine out just yet. I apologize for not telling you, but it was important to me that I could trust you first. My judgment has been impaired, I'll admit it. Oh, though this turn of events isn't exactly what I expected. Yeah, you didn't expect me to talk to the dead, huh? All I can think about now is justice, about the others that died before him, and what we could have done to stop it. What I could have done to stop it. What did he tell you when he spoke to you? His words waver and he mindlessly fiddles with his wedding band, eagerly awaiting my response. I think about what Ezra said about being careful who I share this with. Did that warning apply to the Lieutenant General of all of Esquire? Tell him the truth, lie. I mean, but dude, he's our Lieutenant General. He's like our boss, like our boss, our man boss, and like this is about his husband, like, and I don't know, like, unless he had something to do with sending him to do this case to try to track down whatever's been killing people, and that's how he got himself killed, knowing, even though he knew how dangerous it would be. Oh my god, I keep forgetting to save shit too. Holy crap, I only saved that, but it's okay. There's a skip button for a reason. Anyways, I want to tell him the truth. Like, I feel like we can trust him. Tell him the truth. He told me to leave, that he failed, and that there's no hope. Yeah, he swallows thickly, his expression unchanging. I got the impression he wanted to say more, but I don't know how he managed to communicate with me in the first place. I think he can only say so much before he fades away. It feels like a great struggle for him to reach out. I cannot explain it. Yeah, he just kind of comes and goes. He closes his eyes tight, shaking his head as if he can't bear to hear any more. I will need you to speak to Augustus about this. They know more about psionic magic than anyone here. I'm sure they'll be able to help you figure this out. I do not trust anyone else. Yeah. Okay. Then a hopeful look. Did he truly not say anything else? No, he didn't. No, but the first night that I felt him, I could tell how much he loved you, Harry. You were all he could think about in his final moments. He laughs quietly. Yes, well, he's all I can think about too. A curse now, I suppose. Silence hangs heavy between us, and I don't quite know what to say next. He looks devastated, understandably. He must have so much on his mind already with the latest murder, and now this. The way he came alive when he spoke about James didn't go unnoticed, and I wonder if maybe talking about him would lift his mood. There's a lot of hunters out there that can only aspire to be half as brilliant as Hunter Lane. I would love to hear what he was like, if you don't mind. Sure enough, his somber expression disappears, and he seems to brighten up a little. He was a cocky son of a bitch, but it worked well for him in the field. He was never careless, though. I often found myself watching him instead of paying attention to whatever I was attacking us. Luckily, he could fight well enough to protect us both, or I'm sure we'd have been in trouble. A lot of enforcers choose to stay cooped up in a stuffy office, away from all the danger. Working with James made me not want to miss a thing. He digs into his coat pocket, retrieving his wallet and pulling out a small weathered photo. He pauses, staring me down as if he has reservations, but then he hands it over. Let's see. Oh, they're so cute. Damn. It's of him and James. They look young, beyond happy, and impossibly in love. We were unbearable to be around, I'm sure. I studied the genuine smiles, the way their fingers were laced together. I may not know James aside from the voice in my head, but I feel a strange connection to him, as if I too have known him forever. Thank you for showing me. Maybe then we can have a stronger connection with him when he decides to try to talk to us again. He tucks the photo back into its place right beside a neatly folded up letter. Apparently he appears to have taken a liking to you. It's only fair for you to put a face to the name, I suppose. Yeah. He stares down at his hand, once again twisting his wedding band. His expression is neutral when he meets my gaze, but in a split second, his disposition shifts to the stiff formality I'm so used to when dealing with figures of authority. I gather that our conversation about his dearly departed is over. What happened tonight could have been prevented. It's unacceptable that we were so aware of the looming threat, and yet we let our guard down and lost another life. This cannot happen again. I mean, we were trying to be all lift the morale up, but I guess it didn't work. Not really. I nod, agreeing wholeheartedly, but I cannot shake the feeling that yes, this could have been prevented if it weren't for the festival. The festival he was so adamant went ahead despite others' clear apprehension, including August, yeah. I think better of pressing the matter, for Harry suddenly doesn't seem like a man willing to admit fault. Did you speak to the twins as I requested? Yes, I did. As I'm sure you expected, I didn't get much out of them. A quiet hum, which I think is an indifferent agreement, and Harry sighs heavily. They are rather adept at both lying and sheer avoidance. Yeah, I'm interested in speaking to the brother alone, though. There was something off about him, like he just didn't want to be there. Yeah. I also came across a letter outside the building, one that was addressed to him. The language looked demonic. Harry nods indifferent, and I wonder if he even heard me. He clears his throat and inflicts his eyes to the side as though he has no interest in humoring me any longer. There's nothing more you can do here until we've identified the victim. Get some rest, it's late. Okay, you're dismissed, Hunter Lee. So you're not interested in helping me get this guy alone? How fine. I'll do it myself. Though I'm used to being addressed in such a manner, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't perplexed by the shift in his demeanor. I chalk it down to grief, just like he said, but I can't help but feel like I've disappointed him somehow. I turn and I quietly leave. Okay. Snow is still falling as I step outside, and though the hour is late, there's certainly no peaceful quiet in Lunaris tonight. The streets outside of headquarters are bustling with hunters, enforcers, and everything in between. I keep my head down as I make my way towards the wolf. I fall into a trance as I replay my conversation with Harry over and over, trying to pinpoint the exact moment that made him change his attitude so drastically. I'm snapped back to reality when I bump into something cold and hard, finding a pair of familiar golden eyes staring back at me when I look up. Hey, it's Finn! Is it Finn? Finn! My man, Finn! What's up? Hannah, distracted, are we? Yes. I step back, brushing down the front of my coat. I can see that his lips are on the cusp of curling to the side in a vaguely amused smirk. You could say that. It's been a long night. I mean, you're not perturbed about what happened at all? He offers me a sympathetic look, shoving his hands firmly into his coat pockets as a duo of enforcers pass by. They make a point to glare at him and by proxy at me for being near him. Yeah. Finn dutifully avoids their gaze like a man who has had centuries of perfect feigning indifference. Who has centuries to perfect feigning indifference to the way people like me treat him and his kind. Yeah. I can imagine. Yes. I'm glad to see you safe, Hana. We were all worried for you when we heard. Thank you, Finn. He turns to check that the street is now clear, turning back to me with a serious look. I have my clan patrolling the woods. I'll ensure they're out until dawn, searching if necessary. Okay. Anything we can do to help find whatever or whoever is doing this. Yeah. I'm grateful for the assistance, and I certainly can't say I've ever had a clan of vampires as allies before. I'm optimistic that their help will be of great value to us. Yeah. That's very kind. After an indecipherable pause, Finn's expression drifts somewhere far away. I was out there just now. I picked up a scent, something familiar. Did you? Familiar how? He steps closer, and there's a certain air of caution in the way he addresses me, as if he's unsure that we're truly alone. I didn't get to hang around. There were too many enforcers, but the blood on that stone we found in the graveyard at the scene of... Yes. A pause, apprehension clouding the way he looks at me. His next words are glum, as dead as his demeanor. Of Hunter Lane's death. He's testing the waters if the way he holds my stare is anything to go by, waiting to see just how clued in I am. So it's the same scent that he picked up from the graveyard where Hunter Lane died, same one that is in the woods of the latest victim. Okay. I know about him, Finn. I spoke to Harry just now. He might be a vampire, but the look that crosses his face momentarily isn't exactly subtle. He casts his eyes away from me, the frown that settled at his brow softening around the edges. He licks one of his fangs, thinking with a forlornness that suits him a little too well. Gosh, these words. I see. And how did that go? Not well. I shrug because I can't really offer him anything else. I feel defeated. Not great. He's in mourning, and I don't think he's in the right mind to be making decisions. Finn purses his lips, contemplating my statement. That's a bold way to speak of your Lieutenant General, but I don't doubt your instincts. Yeah. Then a pause. I've lost loved ones, and it's never easy. The mind needs time to heal after such trauma, and all Harry is doing is delaying his grief. Eventually, he throws me a half-hearted smile, but I sense it's something pitiful rather than friendly. I suspect my frustration with my current predicament is glaringly obvious without him having to read my thoughts. Yeah, I'm sorry you've been kept so in the dark. I sense that you're frustrated, and I don't blame you. As much as I may not agree with certain information being withheld, it's truly for your safety. Wow, it's funny, because everyone keeps saying such things, but it certainly doesn't feel like anything other than sheer avoidance. Right? Like, we're so kept in the dark about this. They're just like, yeah, just go out, talk to people, but don't trust anyone. That's it. And then also, yeah, the victims have all been enforcers of some kind. It's like, good, thanks. He removes a hand from his pocket, running long fingers through his hair with a knowing exhale. Yes, well, I cannot excuse anyone's behavior, but I can apologize for my own. Come by the catacombs when you get the chance. I have some things we can discuss that may help. Okay. Though spending some time underground in a tomb sounds less than appealing, Finn doesn't look like the kind of man who lives in squalor. Yes, plus any information is valued, and Finn has lived here long enough to know the ins and outs of this strange little town. Thank you. I'll take you up on that as soon as I can. He tips his head, encouraging me to follow him towards the wolf, I assume. Yeah. Come on, I'll walk you home. Okay, thanks. I am eager to get inside, and with a few strides I catch up to him, falling in step. I don't require an escort, you know. Everyone seems so set on ensuring I'm safe, but you all seem to be forgetting I was brought here to save the day. That's true, supposedly. He purses his lips in an obvious attempt to stop himself from laughing, and I watch the bob of his throat as he swallows the noise. I'm well aware that you require no assistance, but just think about the hunters that were killed. Yeah, they were of your caliber, your rank, the best of the best, as the darling enforcers love to say. Listen, the thought of you ending up like them is not a pleasant one, Hana. I know, yeah, sure. I mean, thanks, I appreciate the thought. We may not have known you for very long, but we don't want to see you get hurt. Aw, he has a point, I suppose. Very well, but no coddling, understand? Yeah. Yes, General. Yes, he laughs again when he catches sight of the dramatic roll of my eyes, sidestepping with startling grace to avoid the elbow that I launched towards his ribcage. As expected. We walk quietly through the streets, the cobblestones glistening with frost. The moon is full and hangs low in the sky as it always seems to here in Lunaris, and Finn exhales sharply to break the silence. I glance at him, too tired to ask him any of the hundreds of questions that run through my mind. I think he knows, somehow, for he too seems to have something on the tip of his tongue. We stop outside the wolf, the lantern that hangs above the door, dark thanks to the late hour. I glance up at the now familiar sign, a scrappy-looking white wolf howling at a full moon, and I laugh. Finn leans against the mismatched brick and stares at me quite intently, his eyes unnervingly bright in the growing darkness. What's funny? You're all masters at being painfully cryptic, and yet I feel at home. Yeah, but I shouldn't trust a single bloody one of you, should I? He turns, checking we're alone again, before he leans a little closer, his voice low. That's for you to decide. Yeah, now tell me, Hunter, what does that tricky little gut of yours tell you about all this, about us? What do you feel? Well, I feel like it's time for me to go. I feel like we should talk. I feel like I need a drink. I mean, yeah, pretty much the last two. Like, I want to flirt with Finn too. Like, hey, maybe even though I did say I wanted to pursue Ezra, but like, what's stopping me from also pursuing Finn as well too? Because they're like a 2-in-1 deal. They can't be a 2-in-1 deal. Should I? Should I keep my options open? I mean, why not? Why not? I feel like we should talk. Flirts. I find myself getting lost in molten gold, watching him watch me, a witty response turning to ash upon my tongue. Oh, he's quite the intimidating fella. I try to search his face for a clue about what he seeks, but I come up short. I feel that I should be doing anything other than talking to strange vampires in the snow at this early hour. Yes. And yet here you are. Yes, here I am. I sigh, joining him and leaning against the wall, my breath turning into mist against the cold air. Here I am. Yes. I wish I knew what it was about him that draws me in, beside the obvious. By all accounts, I should be overly cautious around such a creature, but Finn makes me feel more at ease than I thought possible. And I need that tonight more than ever. Yeah. I want to get to know him, to understand why my heart pounds so feverishly whenever he's near. Yes, I wonder why. I should head inside. My words sounds dull, but I know I don't mean them. I'm looking for a reason to stay right here, anchored in this spot. You sound positively enthused. Yes, give me a reason to stay with you longer, Finn. I shrug, sparing the old door of the tavern a glance. Like, I just wanna, just snuggle up in your nook, you know? The sheets are scratchy, I'm just psyching myself up. That's fair. After a very brief pause, he quickly steals his gaze. He reaches out and runs a cool iron finger along the curve of my cheekbone, the etchings lighting up in the darkness. You're quite lovely, you know. Oh, okay, he's got a little flirt on too. Okay, Finn, I see you. I cannot resist the impulse to tip my head in blatant invitation, the way wolves show submission, baring the column of my throat to a man that could rip it out in the blink of an eye. His cool digit stops over the place where my pulse thrums fiercely, and I no longer care that he can hear, that he knows what he's doing to me. Yes, I'm just laying all my cards out. Jesus. He smells strangely like a dying summer, though I suspect his memories of sunshine are long dead. Sweet dreams, fair hunter. I daren't keep you from your rest much longer. My traitorous body shivers under his touch, and I mourn the loss of it when he finally pulls away. He quickly stuffs his hands back into his coat pockets, as if the temptation would be too much if he didn't. I take a deep breath, and I try to gather my wits. I can't seem to find it in me to mind. Yeah, look at me, I'm so smooth. Damn, pat on my back. Jesus, I wish I was this smooth. He smiles at that, and I sense reluctance as he pushes away from the wall, ready to depart. Alas, you have a town to save. Plus, the night is still young for a creature like myself. I sigh, staying closer than is probably necessary, craving contact of any kind as I watch his grin grow wider still. Right. I really should head inside though, I suppose. I suppose, twirls hair. A pleasure as always. And remember, we've got your back. Should we find anything of interest overnight, I'll come running. Daylight permitting, of course. Good night, Hana. I return his smile, pushing the heavy door to the wolf open and praying it doesn't creak and wake the other residents. Good night, Finn. Yes. I watch him go before I close the door, only the light of the moon guiding his way as he disappears into the darkness. Alrighty, there he goes, off into the night. I finally settle upon the hard mattress. The cheap sheets are harsh against my skin as I attempt to get comfortable. Light from the low-hanging moon bleeds into my room, bright enough to keep me awake as it cuts through my sorry excuse for curtains. I've scrubbed myself clean of any traces of grime from the hunt, and I can't help but feel irritated from the sheer lack of progress I've made so far. I come to the conclusion that there are too many secret keepers in this town, and I refuse to feel defeated or let it continue. Yeah. Overwhelmed by the day's events, I find myself falling into a swift and dreamless sleep. Okay. No ghostly whispers this time. Reality settles over me when I awake, a thick smog that almost suffocates me as I reluctantly drag myself from the almost comfort of my bed. I haven't had anywhere near enough rest, but I must relent. I mustered the energy to dress and head downstairs to face whatever obstacles are hastily and inevitably shoved in my way. Alrighty, another day, another dollar, another mystery to solve. No sooner have my eyes taken in the bleary sight of the empty tavern than a hideous scraping of wood against stone assaults my ear. Oh, who's it? In the corner of the room where he had until then sat in shadows, Alkar stumbles to his feet, the chair he's been sitting on almost toppling over. Have you drunken yourself to sleep here? He catches it at the last moment and sets it right, then grimaces briefly before stalking over to me. There's enough distance and enough time to see the hunch of his shoulders and the stiffness of his posture. For a moment I worry if he's hurt somehow, but as he comes closer it seems more likely he's only drunk and hungover. Wary, perhaps? Not unusual, but with the commotion last night, it puts me ill at ease. Yeah. Great. I've no need for supernatural senses to know that this is going to be another pebble on the mountain of mysteries. Alkar looks a mess, his feet unwrapped and covered in dirt, his clothes not much better. Where have you been, girl? Like, what's happened to you? What has he been doing? Rolling around on the forest floor? Right, exactly. What's up? Hunter, I need to speak with you. Okay, he doesn't sound like the aloof, cocky half-lichen I've come to know. Alkar speaks forcefully, and there's a tremor in his voice that's hard to miss. He sounds frantic, almost. Wow, what's up? Dude, what's wrong? What's wrong? Dude, are you hurt? Are you bleeding? What's happened? The frown deepens. Instead of explaining himself, Alkar holds out his hand and uncurls his fingers, revealing a crumpled ball of fabric. Is it from the victim? For a moment I stare at him and at the thing he's holding without comprehension. Alkar stares back, expression telling me he thinks I'm an idiot for not getting it, and I almost want to snap. But then I realize the distinctive purple under the dirt and the dried crusted blood, and my stomach drops. Yeah. A hunter's sash. Alkar is holding a hunter's sash in his hand. Yeah. Or what's left of it. The thing is torn to a sorry state, its original color almost indistinguishable under the grime. Carefully I reach out to take it from him for a closer inspection. He looks down. Hey man, I don't think you did it. Nah, it can't be him, obviously. It doesn't belong to the hunter that was killed last night. Oh, okay. That even further supports that. It doesn't belong to any of them. It's not right. The smell. I stare at him in disbelief, shaking my head as I feel the gritty fabric between my fingers. Then who does it belong to? Yeah. Where'd you find it? Alkar shrugs half-heartedly. In the tavern's uncertain light, his face is drawn, his eyes sunken. Exhausted, I realize, but his tail flicks back and forth. Impatience or agitation? It's hard to tell with him. All I know is that Alkar is telling the truth, if for no other reason than because he's too worn out for deception. I tried, but I couldn't tell. I searched all night with the clan, but we came up short. He looks over his shoulder, checking to ensure we don't have company. Oh wow. I have to be careful. I can't be seen with such things. Yeah, for sure, which is why I'm like worried. I'm like, dude, like you can't have been the one to do it, but like, yeah, it's really hella suspicious for you to have it. A sharp exhale, and he admits defeat, shoulders drooping, ears flat against his head. There's as much bitter resentment in his voice as there is sulk. They'll hurt me again, yeah. I almost ask who, but Alkar's hand twitches towards his chest, drawing my eyes to the hidden brand that I know is there, making the unpleasant implication clear. Yeah, I'm not going to let them hurt you. He doubts my ability to protect him. Strange that he would come to me with this. No, I'm not gonna let them hurt you. No, I'm not gonna flirt with Alkar. Not yet. Not here. This is not the time, but yeah. I'm not gonna let them hurt you. I'm not gonna let them hurt you, Alkar. Yeah. I hold up the piece of scrap fabric, handling it like it's gold. It might as well be. I have no idea what it might mean for the investigation yet, but it's still very clearly something, right? And I'm well aware of the trust, or perhaps desperation, it took this seeming pariah to come and entrust it to me in person. Yeah. I hear him scoff. Yeah, I'll pray for you. I roll my eyes at him. Aren't we talking about you and your issue here? Yeah, I don't have an issue. Well, I'm unlikely to have one if you keep mum out. I'm unlikely to have one if you keep mum about where you found that fabric scrap, which I'm sure you will. Yes, of course. Okay, yeah. Asking me to lie to my superiors already? What are we? But I spoke in jest and make sure my tone communicates such. I already know discretion must and will be employed once I decide to report this finding to August or the Lieutenant General, right? I don't want him hurt, right? I don't want them to hurt him. Alkar smirks at me, resting his hands on his hips. Some of that cockiness finding its way back to him. A welcoming sight, and one I'm glad to see. Sure, I'll gamble on it. I love gambling. There are worse odds to bet on. He leans closer suddenly, lowering his voice despite the empty tavern. I don't know how much or how little you decided to trust the powderwick palms at that workplace of yours, and... He pauses, looking pained. And I said all that about not trusting anyone, I know, but just listen to me. This once. Take that to Ezra, not to your superior. Okay. He regards me with beseeching intensity, eyes flickering across my face, like he's looking for some sort of give, something he can trust. Yeah, I don't know if I can give it to him. Alkar's concerned for his own well-being. I understand. This is different. Yet I have no desire to bother Harry this morning, not after last night, and not over an inconclusive scrap of something that smells strange. August is another mystery altogether. Ezra does have a wonderful little shop full of witchy magic. In a town this small, I can only surmise he would be the one with the most tools at his disposal to suss out an analysis of something like this. It does make sense to go to him, which is all well and good because Alkar is beginning to look downright fidgety. Alright, I'll go to Ezra with this, right? I mean, I would have too, to be quite honest. Alkar stares at me for a second longer, like he doesn't know if I was being honest. Eventually, however, his shoulders relax and he takes a step back. Then my job's done. Hope you don't mind me quitting this place. A tavern's no fun when there's nobody to pick a fight with. Haha. Alright, he drops into a mocking half-assed bow, his tail swishing, and then all but squeezes himself out the door right past me before I can so much as frown. Alright, then I guess we're gonna visit Ezra then. I stare where Alkar has already vanished, and wonder for a moment if I should chase him down, but then forget it. He's no hunter, and I have a feeling, not entirely natural, that the thing out there isn't interested in lichens, witches, demons, or vampires. It's nothing to do with the killing patterns. It's... Sighing, I tuck my coat more tightly around myself and reluctantly make to follow his path. Breakfast will have to wait. Okay. Yeah. Ooh, hey, I think the art changed here. It's like it's different than what we had the first time round. The shop is empty when I arrive, that comforting tinkle of the bell that sits above the door welcoming me. Ezra's nowhere to be seen, but I do spot a small white cat curled up at the foot of the shop counter. Aw, kitty. A curious creature, one that gives off the same soothing magical aura as her owner, if I'm to make assumptions. Yeah. The purple curtain that separates the shop and living quarters twitches, and Ezra emerges clutching a cup of steaming tea. Ezra, my goodness, you're here. Hana, I'm so relieved to see that you're alright. Yeah. The cat's ears twitch at the sound of his voice, and her eyes glow a vivid aquamarine as they lazily open. She stretches, sauntering over to him and parading herself in between his legs. He ignores her, moving to place his tea upon the counter. He bites his bottom lip, lashes dipped, and he almost seems coy. What? I was concerned after we parted on the beach. The scream. Alright. I worried for you. Uh-huh. So cute. I certainly haven't forgotten our little moment, nor have I forgotten the way he looked under the bright lights of the fireworks. Yes! I'm fine, though I wasn't best pleased our evening was cut short so abruptly either, right? I enjoyed our time together. Yes, as did I. Very much so, in fact. He bites his lip again, an enticing sight, but he breaks the spell by clearing his throat. Well, I do hope you've had enough rest. You look ever so tired. Not that I'm surprised after an inevitably late evening. Yeah. Would you like some tea? Yes. The sash feels heavy in my coat, and as much as I enjoy exchanging pleasantries with the witch, I'm here for a reason. Oh, right. I actually need your help with something quite urgent. You do? What is it? Both the cat and Ezra watch me intently as I retrieve the sash, the violet, bloodied fabric unfurling as I hold it up. The cat hisses, her hackles raised as she darts into the back room with little hesitation. Yeah, it's not a pretty thing. That paired with the look on Ezra's face unnerves me, and I sigh heavily, exasperated as he rushes past me to lock the front door. Oh shit, is that serious? Damn, my bad. Deadbolt and all. He faces the door, his palms splayed flat upon the window pane. It glows a pleasant shade of blue as he whispers what I assume to be a ward incantation before he turns to join me. Though we're quite clearly alone, his voice is tactfully quiet. Where exactly did you get that? Alkar. The words rush out of him and his aura is panicked, so much so that I begin to feel a terrible sense of unease washing over me. Ezra is the one person I truly had no hesitation about trusting from the start, someone I thought I could rely on, but here, right now, I find myself questioning his intentions. Wait, you're sus about him too, just because he seems a little panicked about what we have? I mean, I guess, but there's no way he could be involved. Okay, could he possibly already know who this belongs to, and if so, how? I mean, okay, that's a little shady, but still. I thought he knows everybody. Alkar found it in the woods last night. He told me to bring it to you, and only you. He runs a hand through his curls, and I notice that it's shaking. Ezra, are you okay? A heavy exhale, and he closes his eyes, shaking his head before he meets my gaze. This is bad. This puts us all in danger. What do you mean? Danger? I don't understand. It's just a sash. I simply hoped you could identify who it belonged to. Right? You're aware of who its owner is, I assume, based on your reaction? I play dumb, expertly disguising my interest in the fact that I know it's not the new victims. If he's hiding something, I'll find out. Oh my god, everyone really is shady. Holy shit. He moves around to the other side of the counter, nervously rearranging a pile of glowing crystals, pushing aside a dish filled with colorful gems. He spares me a glance as he takes a seat, and then he forces a smile. I have an inkling, yes. Okay, may I? Sure. He holds out his hand, which I observe it is now perfectly steady. I'm hesitant to part with the scrap after that little display of uncertainty, but he seems to have collected his thoughts. Are you sure? He nods, wiggling his fingers impatiently. As sure as I'll ever be. Now, let us get this over with. Okay. Alrighty then. As soon as the sash meets his palm, a bright emerald light emanates from his fingertips. The fabric hovers mid-air, suspended by vibrant whirls of magic, the movement of Ezra's hand fluid like water as he commands his spell. Alright. I watch in awe as the mark forms before him, indecipherable shapes shifting and changing. His eyes are alight, brighter than ever as the blood that coats the sash seems to pull away from the fabric suspended alongside his magic. Ooh, that's neat. It's beautiful, a truly impressive display, but I ensure I don't take my eyes off of him for a second. His lips part, brow deeply furrowed as he concentrates. He doesn't look pleased, and I'm not entirely sure exactly what he's doing, but whatever it is, I just hope that it helps. Right? This is the first solid piece of evidence I've managed to get my hands on, and I refuse to rest until I get a name. A sharp inhale, and Ezra closes his eyes tight, the magic dissipating, and the sash falls and settles upon the wood. Okay, give it to me. He drops his head, knuckles tight as he grips the edge of the counter. I had a feeling, but... Ezra, work with me here. I need you to be honest. right? He looks scared, maybe even a little upset. This is bigger than me, but I cannot in good conscience keep this from you. Okay, then tell me. I'm not sure if he's talking directly to me or if he's reassuring himself. I suspect it's the latter. I tried to remain calm, and I truly am unsurprised that yet another person in this town has managed to refrain from divulging potentially valuable information. Right? Like Ezra, Aya Walker. This sash belongs to a girl named Aya Walker. No one... That doesn't ring a bell. He pushes away from the counter, putting distance between himself and the sash, eyeing it warily. And who exactly is Aya Walker, right? Who is this? I really shouldn't. I would hate for any harm to come to you. What? Who? But, like, I need to harm? Who would harm me over something as insignificant as a name? I'm growing increasingly more frustrated as the minutes pass by, and Ezra can tell. I know he's not stupid. If anything, he's too smart. Right? I suppose he's just looking out for himself, but whatever knowledge he's retaining is clearly valuable, and I must know. I think back to what Omen said only a few nights ago, about Finn visiting less, about Ezra being tired all the time. Is this connected somehow? You're safe. I'll protect you. You need to tell me right away. Don't worry, I protect you, girl. Don't worry about it. I got you. I got you. It's okay. Yeah, we gotta flirt with him. We must flirt with him. I cannot stop myself from going to him. Yeah. The way he stares at the sash, the way all the color drains from his freckled cheeks has my heart aching. Ezra, it's okay. I'll never let anything happen to you. Right? I worry more about you. I know that sounds foolish, but... He wraps his arms around his waist, almost as if he's trying to hold himself together. I care for you. I will not be responsible for you getting hurt. Dude, it's my job. Like, I always put myself in danger. It comes with it. I reach out with a tentative hand, and he steps forward. Without hesitation, I wrap my arms around him. Our bodies seemed from shoulder to waist to hip. Yeah. He buries his face in the crook of my neck, his hands splayed upon my back, fingers curling tight in my clothing. I hold him until I'm sure that he's not going to fall apart, until I know that he feels safe. Yes, security hug. Yes. When I breathe in, my lungs are filled with the sweet scent of vanilla of clean cotton. I thank you. I needed that, apparently. Yes, you do. The proximity starts to make my stomach twist. A comfort I almost didn't know I needed that a comfort that I almost didn't know I needed that now I never want. What the fuck? I can't read. A comfort I almost didn't know I needed that I now never want to end. Okay. I'm taking it back to the beach, his face alight with vibrant colors, eyes shining in the moonlight. Yes. I've come to care for him more than I ever expected to, and I know in my heart that I'd do anything to keep him safe. Yes, protect Ezra! Best boy. We reluctantly part, and I register the way his cheeks have darkened, his green eyes bright. Any time. Ezra eventually shifts his weight, his breathing steadier than it had been, and he clears his throat. Aya, she was a general, a really lovely girl, and relatively new in town after being transferred. Okay, she was arrested quite suddenly, and no one outside of the enforcers knows why. Really? She was arrested? Hunters, especially of a general's rank, are very rarely thrown in the dungeons for minor transgressions. We are too valuable, so what did she do, right? Damn, girl, she got arrested. I don't know what to do with this information. A young general being thrown into the dungeons is alarming, especially when there's no apparent reason. Treason, murder, unlawful torture, these are all the things that I know hunters have been imprisoned for, but never without the public having full knowledge, for such events are not usually quiet ones. We have families, friends, we save lives. There must be something, somewhere, that tells me why she was stripped of her title and thrown in a cell. I take the sash from the counter and tuck it back inside my coat, and Ezra keeps a close eye on the movement as if it may jump out and bite him. Who was her enforcer? Yeah, Ezra throws me that look again, the one where he looks impossibly sad, reluctant. Is it August? Gus. Yeah, I knew it. Of course, because I don't have enough of my plate already. He quickly scrambles to add to his statement, clearly not wanting me to think ill of August. Only in interim, though. While her transfer was processed, her and Piper hit it off quickly, but she was gone before she had a chance to thrive. Okay, so they were only briefly there. Aya's enforcer, like just for that period of when she was being transferred. Okay. So I take a step towards the door, and Ezra nervously follows. Where are you going? I don't know. He looks like he wants to reach out and stop me, but he thinks better of it. I'm going to clear my head before... I don't know. Yeah, I reach to turn the locks, then for the handle, watching his words shimmer and fade as he reluctantly waves his hand. Something begs at me to pause. Tell me, Ezra, why are you so afraid? Yes, a deep breath, then a steady exhale, and Ezra stands tall. Because I'm scared to learn the truth. Oh, I've only ever been looking for somewhere to settle, somewhere quiet and away from the things that gave me nightmares. I found that here. I found love, a family, and yet... Nothing lasts forever? Yeah. He shakes his head. Everything crumbles eventually. That is why I'm afraid. I just want a normal life. Aww. We stare at each other down for a lingering moment, and I truly feel sorry for him, for everyone in this town. And I gather that associating yourself with creatures doesn't grant you much peace? Yeah. It does not, yeah. But he can't help it, though. He's a nice guy. I drop my head, my mind swimming. People are dying, being thrown in dungeons. I've got your back, Ezra, just as long as you have mine. Yeah, I thank you. Just stay safe. Yes, we need you. Don't worry about it. I got it. I hopefully I won't end up getting murdered anytime soon or anything like that. But anyways, it's okay. I'm fine. Chill air hits me as soon as I open the door of Ezra's shop and step outside. It hisses in my ears, piercing through layers like it wants to chase me back indoors. I could think of no alternative more enticing, but my work is done here and I must move on. Not a moment less well timed, it seems, as I close the door and immediately notice a familiar face skulking about just out of my vision until now. Omen startles badly when he realizes that I've spotted him. He takes a full step back away from me, one hand half raised, tail lashing like a snake, and there's genuine fear on his face. Oh, Omen. Where have you been? Speak of the devil. Something wrong? Something wrong? Why are you being so sketchy and so, jumpy? Is something wrong? We can't flirt with him. I'm sorry. I want to, comfort him and such and be very, what's happening? Chill, relax, dude. But, nah. I take a moment to look over him. Omen seems, by all accounts, unhurt. At least he isn't hurt enough that it interferes with his glamour despite his obvious distress. Under my scrutiny, however, Omen takes a half step back, hugging himself, and I hasten to put him at ease. He isn't an enemy, least of all one I'm willing to make, right? It's alright, I was just surprised to see you, is all. Right. Oh. Omen looks away for a moment, embarrassed. Then he offers me a half smile, visibly relaxing. I've been hiding. Things seem to be tense right now. Yeah. I can't help but sigh at that. That's one way to put it. I gesture vaguely at him. But what of you? You seem to be in a hurry. Is something wrong? Omen's eyes widen. He opens his mouth, doesn't say something for a moment, then shuts it. I'm looking for someone. Oh. Omen says this very quietly, like it's a secret confessed. He scans my face with eyes flickering more red than brown. Pensive. Yeah, pensive. I wait, since there is little else I can say. Then something seems to resolve. Omen looks from me to Ezra's door, then takes a step back, his mouth tight. She's probably not in there, then. I should get going. It's nice seeing you again. She? Who's she? He makes to turn away, and I don't know what moves me to act. Perhaps it's his aura, the way I suddenly sense it swell under his glamour, spot the wisp of flame trailing from his hair and the tip of his ears. My dude, wait up, I need to talk to you. Perhaps he's walking away and I simply cannot let him go right now. Perhaps I am tired of one more fucking mystery in this town. Either way, I reach out and grab his wrist, right? Nobody's telling me anything. Wait. And instantly I regret it. Ouch, you're hot. You're very hot, right? You're burning up. Oh my goodness. Oh, what's happening? What is happening? Heat scorches my hand, forcing me to withdraw with a small cry. Omen looks over his shoulder at me with glowing amber eyes, his lips drawn back in a half snarl. His still eerily human face is framed by a wreath of fire. My guts clench. Twists drop under the sudden glimpse of I can't read today. What's wrong with me? My guts clench. Twists drop under the sudden glimpse of an immense, blistering presence that sprung out of nowhere. My instincts scream at me in warning. Demon, yeah. Then Omen jerks back as though out of a trance, and everything extinguishes. Dude, I'm sorry I startled you. I do not know how long we stand there outside of Ezra's shop with the space of a swords swinging between us. Omen's arms are limp by his sides, him making no move to defend himself. All he does is stare at me with huge eyes in palpable horror. I'm sorry. I force my mouth to open to tell him it's all right. I have had worse really, but I can only pry my jaw apart. The words I can't force through. Oh man, he's not waiting to hear them. He is stepping away. 1, then 2, then 3, and he turns around and flees. That rhymes. I can't move my legs to follow. By the time I get enough control of myself back, Omen is already long gone. In hindsight, I'm glad I couldn't follow him. It takes a tremendous effort for me to pry my stiff fingers from the comfort of my weapon. Yeah, shit, that really scared me. You scared me. I had been sitting in my room at the Wolf, waiting for the sun to set, waiting for darkness to fall so I can carry out my next move. Oh, are we visiting the forest? No messenger had come to summon me to headquarters, and neither had August come to bang down my door. I gathered that the identification of the deceased hunter is taking a little longer than expected. Or they want to keep it from me. Many dark things crossed my mind, but I pushed them away. I meant it when I said that I'm tired of being pushed from pillar to post, kept in the dark. Yeah, right? Enough is enough. If this town wants saving, then I shall do it on my own terms. On my terms. Right? Like, people keep just, they're like, we'll tell you when. Like, I don't want to tell you when. It's like, oh my god, what am I even here for? The door to August's office is thankfully unlocked, and I'm pleased to discover that it's empty. Ooh, are we snooping? The desk is in its unusual disarray. Yeah, the desk is in its usual disarray, papers and books haphazardly strewn across its surface. I take a deep breath and head straight for the filing cabinet I've seen August rummaging through so often, and I carefully open the drawers. Oh my god, we're snooping. Holy shit. Apparently Piper has her own, a whole portion dedicated to her hunt reports. An impressive feat, yeah. After much rummaging, I eventually find Aya's papers stuffed at the very back of the bottom drawer. If I didn't know what I was looking for, then they'd have easily gone unnoticed. It certainly looks like August has tried to hide them, which only increases my suspicion. Oh my god, this is so sketchy! Holy shit! I find her transfer papers, a glowing letter of recommendation from her previous enforcers. Her records are clean, no discrepancies, nothing but praise. I see the words kind and thoughtful repeated multiple times, and the only complaint, if you can call it that her enforcer had is that she was overly cautious. Then I find it. Her discharge papers, an obnoxious red treason stamped across the front page. Treason? What kind? Oh shit. Oops, caught red-handed. They're gonna be so mad. Oh my god, they're gonna roast me alive. In the blink of an eye, the whole office lights up and the door loudly slams against the wall. Oops. Hiya. What are you doing? Nothing. I watch magic coats every surface, flowing and curling over the walls, floor, furniture. It even creeps up over their clothing, and I imagine their skin too. They stare at me wide-eyed, vivid violets swallowing the once ice blue of their irises, and though I should be concerned that I've been caught, I'm distracted. August. Hi. What's up? The magic that glimmers upon their clothing disappears, and their eyes lose the otherworldly glow, but the room remains alight. They look at the bundle of papers that I hold tightly in my hand, a frown furrowing their brow. I would ask that you put those back, Hunterly. Oh gosh. Their words are eerily calm, and they seem more concerned than annoyed. What happened to her? They close the door, clicking the lock and checking the handle before they walk towards me. Okay, so they're not too pissed. As poised and perfect as ever, they stare me down. You know, not even Piper found those. I hate to admit that I'm impressed. Glad to hear. August. They unfurl their fingers in a silencing gesture, and I pause. August is still my superior officer, and I am nothing if not respectful. I did not wish for Piper to be demoted, nor do I wish for you to meet the same fate, but I appear to be having a case of deja vu. But, you know, sometimes the hand that feeds is a forceful one. I'm perplexed. I expected a much harsher conversation. August isn't exactly known for their calm temperament, and this is startling out of character, right? They're awfully very calm about this, like I said. Like, they're not as pissed as they should be in catching someone snooping through their drawers. Aren't you going to admonish me? Yes? Aren't you going to yell at me? A sly smile, and they shake their head. No, Hana, I'm not. Aw, that's nice. I believe in you, strangely. Oh, that's nice. I believe that you're a bright light at the end of a very, very dark tunnel for this town. And I have been questioning things lately. Oh, yes, have you now? I have questions for you. I'm here for you. I just want the truth. I just want the truth. That's me. Yeah, for real. I just want the truth. We can't be flirting with August right now. Like, they're not supposed to be our interest right now. Their uncertainty is startling. They've always seemed so sure, so confident. It's like a different person stands before me. Are they afraid too? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I just want to know what happened. Their mouth twists and they sigh deeply. I don't know what happened. I am but a pawn. August, please. Just anything, man. My general. I let my frustration show, the papers crumpling in my grip. She's rotting in a dungeon and no one knows why? Not even the one who signed her papers? Oh shit. Sorry. That was out of line of me. That was out of line. A glow, fierce and bright, surrounds us, magic crackling at their fingertips. I did not sign them. Yes, yeah. They take a deep breath. I couldn't do such a thing. This goes higher than me, far higher. People are scared to even utter her name. They shake their head, and I notice that I can't get a read on their aura. I am no liar when I say I don't know. Wow, okay. Something in my gut tells me that this is really all connected, and this does not comfort me. The very institution that I work for, that I dedicated my life to. I move to pull out the sash and let it unfurl where I hold it before them, and August's eyes grow wide. Yeah, guess what I found? Who does this belong to? Who do you think? Aya Walker. Their expression is unchanging. I see, it's bloodied. I nod, handing it to them. They do not remove their gloves as they carefully lay it across their palms, studying it intently. Heavily and torn to shreds, whatever happened, she put up a fight. They frown, lips pursed. Something is clearly perplexing them. She was not reported to be injured upon her arrest. That much I do know. Something like that wouldn't be omitted. I throw them a sorry stare, wondering how they could still be so sure of such things. You're positive the blood is hers? Yes. I want to tell them how I know, but I cannot implicate Ezra nor Alkar, not after they were both so clearly terrified. I'm sure, and I'm going to need you to trust me on that. Strangely, they don't question it. Instead, they sigh, delicately resting the sash upon their desk. She was yours, August. Don't you want to know what happened to her? I want to see her, to visit the dungeon. They glance out of the window, and another heavy snowfall coats the icy street outside. I think you need to take a seat. Oh god, this is gonna be heavy shit. I have a few confessions. Oh no! What cliffhanger? What? Dude, oh my god, everyone's hella shady, and I didn't realize this, and oh my god, I'm questioning everyone now. So there you go, you guys, that is chapter 3 of When the Night Comes. Oh my god, another really solid chapter that left us hanging at the edge of our seats. I hope, well, it certainly did for me, I hope it does for you too. So yeah, we are now 3 chapters deep. The thick plottings, sort of, kind of, not really. We're still scratching the surface of what the hell shady business is going on in this town. So we have a new victim who's not been identified yet, but we also have this other general. I think she was a general. Yeah, this other general person who was arrested for treason. That was kind of like all hush hush about it. But she's still alive, in a dungeon. But you know, she was attacked apparently and was like badly injured at this point, I assume, because of her sash and shit. So yeah, so everyone's on edge, everyone's suspicious. Oh my god, okay, there you go, you guys. So I don't know when, excuse me, I don't know when the next update will be, but I'm pretty sure if you guys, of course, I'll check it out myself as well too. When you guys check out, if you guys check out their Tumblr or their other social media pages like their itch.io and stuff, then for sure they'll let you guys know when the next chapter release will be. So far they've been very up to date, very on top of it, and like releasing the chapters as they said they would be, no delays whatsoever. So it's pretty solid at this point, which is great, which is fantastic. And if anything, of course, if you guys find delays or such and so on, any updates, any other like, you know, bonus stuff and like more lore and more art and more stuff, anything, basically more content on this game, then definitely head on over, follow them on Tumblr, follow them on itch.io and such. Yeah, so there's that. So can't wait for the next chapter, chapter 4. Oh my god, I want to get more of this story. And yeah, it's honestly making me question people now. Just like, damn, can we actually trust people, like anybody here? So yes, tune in next time, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning me on this chapter. Hope you guys are still well along and interested in this game, because I sure am. So yeah, look forward to the next chapter. But for now, I'll see you guys in my other Let's Play. So, bye!